Welcome to Into the Mind of a Madman with your host, me, the Madman. Tomorrow is not promised, and there is no guarantees for anything, right? So I am of the philosophy, try the best you can today to even or make your odds greater for tomorrow. That's the way I think. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to certain things, I think most people don't take into account of how to make the odds better or more in your favor. They just want what they want for today. You know what I'm saying? They don't think what I can do today that will better my chances to be in a better position in life 20 years down the line. And one of the cases that I find there is like a big debate on is renting versus buying when it comes to a house. The main topic is a house. Now, there was a time where houses, to own a home or to own land or to have something of your own is like a big accomplishment. It's pretty much, in my opinion, the only way to have true freedom in what we call America, or anywhere. Like the freedom of this is mine, I can do whatever I want with it, is a big accomplishment in somebody's life, right? When you rent, you have all of these particular rules you have to go by because it's not yours, and you have to, I say, when the lease is over or the rent agreement is over, the agreement comes to an end, it may be somebody else's. You know what I'm saying? So it's a limitation on what you can do when you rent something, whether it be a car or lease a car or renting a home, a house, or apartment. But you often hear in hindsight, I say in hindsight, like, hey, you don't want to rent for 30 years. By that, if you rent and you pay however much in rent, 30 years from now, you could have owned a home. You get what I'm saying? But the philosophy in owning a home by paying a mortgage, or the philosophy of owning a car by paying a car note, it is kind of idiotic. It was a point where owning a home was for the elite, far as this was something somebody could afford by bargaining or bartering, or they could just acquire it at the time of purchase. You know what I'm saying? And the American economy, they saw a way where I can put people who necessarily can't afford it into a home and make them feel like they're one of us, and I can charge them interest, which would then make me money. You get what I'm saying? And if they couldn't fulfill the terms, I can actually take that from them, and I'll still keep the money that I got from them with the interest, right? In this capitalistic society that we live in, it gives people this sense of I made it when you really haven't. There are foreclosure companies, there are repossession companies, and that thrive, that exist for a reason, because there is an expected number of people to be repossessed, to be in foreclosure, to not fulfill the term. Like, the society is set up that way. We'll give you for the time being, because I know by the time a car note maybe like 6 years or 5 years, or a housing term, a mortgage term could be 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years. It's like an expected risk, or it's expected that a lot of people won't be able to fulfill the term. So there are foreclosures and set up in place. There are repossession companies set up in place to come get that. You know what I'm saying? All right, but this is really a situation where I'm here to discuss how you should think about it. Like I said, you can't guarantee tomorrow, but it'll better your odds for tomorrow. Now, for starters, no one in their right mind would agree to pay anybody any set amount of money once a month every month for 6 straight years, for 10 straight years, for 15 straight years, for 30 straight years. The thought in that is insane. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, they disguise it as a freedom. As you can own something. You want to own something. You want to have something you can call your own, you know? But the thought is very idiotic. It's a very crazy thought that you would agree to pay somebody a certain amount of money every month continuously for 25 straight years. Especially not knowing what happens tomorrow. Whether if you can die, you can hurt yourself and not be able to afford this payment. You can lose your job and not be able to afford this payment. Something else could happen in your life. That it's so many factors in your life that can happen. Like, I understand that you can get bought out of your home and you could buy something else or whatever. I get all of that, but I'm pretty much, like I said, I'm here to discuss how do you even the odds, or how you make the odds better in your favor, right? Because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You can say that with anything. Now, you shouldn't have a mortgage, or you shouldn't have a car note, in my opinion. Everything should be rented or leased if you don't have these things in place that I'm about to name. Most people should just rent or lease, whether it be your car or your house, like these major payments. Most people are not in a position where they can afford these things because, for one, you don't have income to balance out what your payment is. You don't have a set income because if you work at a job and you work for somebody, you can be fired at any moment at that person's discretion. You can get hurt on the job. You can have something happen in your life where you have to move or you can't necessarily be at that job anymore. There can be a pandemic in the world going on. There can be so many factors to where your income is based on you working, or like you're actually getting up in the morning and going to that place to pay your mortgage off, to pay your car note off. The only way you can even the odds, or the only way you should say, yo, can I afford a house, or can I afford a car note for 5, 6 years, or 10, 15, 30 years, 25 years, 20 years, right? You should have some type of residual income that is not based on your work, on your hard labor. You should have some type of savings account where it accumulates enough money per month. Like, say your mortgage is $1,000. The savings account should accumulate $1,000 every month. You should see an interest rate with your interest. You should see $1,000 come in every month. Like at the beginning of every month, $1,000 should be added based on the interest that's in there. You're making $1,000, so that money does not depend on you working, because you don't know if you'll have a job next week. You don't know if you'll have a job next month. You don't know if you're gonna be hurt. You don't know if you're gonna be fired. Like I said, it's a whole lot of factors. So if you simply just had a mortgage, you didn't have any other bills, your mortgage should be covered by something that didn't involve you working for it, that is out of your control. If you own a company, like I use myself for example, I drive a truck. If I drive for somebody else and I have a mortgage, if they decide to fire me, or something happens where I get fired or I get hurt and I'm not working now how do I pay my mortgage? Now, if it was my truck, now I work for myself, I'm driving, I can't get fired, right? Because it's my truck. But if I get hurt, something happens where I get hurt, it's my truck. I can go out here and hire somebody else to drive my truck, pay them, and in a sense, make enough money to then pay my mortgage. So it doesn't, I have something that I do not have to actually work for, or that accumulates enough money so I can then pay my mortgage. A lot of you people have jobs that you're not in control of. That's why, like I said, foreclosure exists. It's it's calculated that a certain amount of people are not going to be able to pay this for long terms. This is why, like I said, this is why foreclosure companies exist. These are why repossession companies exist, because it's already known. It's already calculated into this. So if you don't have some type of residual income, not based on you working, like I said, whether it be your own business, it be a savings account, it be some type of stock account, whatever it is, that account should, or that business should be able to cover your mortgage, your car note, your anything, without you having to work, or without you having to say, man, it's only dependent on me. You get what I'm saying? You should not have a mortgage. It would be better for you to rent or to lease for a year or 2 years, because the odds say you don't know what's going to happen 2 years from now. You don't know if your company something's gonna happen to your company where it goes bankrupt and now you're out of a job. Like I said, it's not necessarily on you. Don't base it off of your work performance. Like, oh, I'm good at my job, so like I'm actually good at it. So then I'm good with the people. They love me. I'm always gonna have a job, or I'm always gonna have that. So I'm gonna go get this house where I agree to make payments for 15, 20, 25 years. Get what I'm saying? No, have something that is not based on you, that just makes money. Like, you're going to see the money no matter what. Like I said, whether it be enough in a savings account, don't take me literal as like, yo, you're safe. Like, if your mortgage is $1,000, don't make it like you have stocks that just make $1,000. You know what I'm saying? It should make more than 1,000, because the stock market fluctuates. So if the 1 month your stock is down and your portfolio is down, you only make 800 instead of the 1,000 that you need. Now you're stuck in a hole. Like, have it to where you need to pay 1,000. So, but your stocks average 25. You get what I'm saying? It's above the 1,000. Your stocks average 25. So even if it comes down to 15, you still can cover. If it goes up to 35, you obviously can cover. A lot of y'all shouldn't be owning homes. Not that a lot of y'all do, but just in general. Like I said, with the uncertainty of life, nobody should be making these decisions of, like I said, of these contracts of these 6 years. Alright, let's get off homes. Let's take it to cars. A lot of us have car notes. We need cars to move around. Cool. Leasing comes with terms, like you can only drive a certain amount of miles, whatever. Understood. But understand, to enter in a 6-year agreement, and like I said, you're relying on your job to obviously pay you a certain amount of money so you could pay that car note, right? And we covered whatever happens. The same thing, have an account or have a business, have something that you don't have to touch or whatever to make that point is clear. But say you have a car and you get a car for 6 years, you make all your payments, you pay it off. Now what happens? Your car starts to fall apart, or you got an old car. The technology advances yearly. By the time your car is 6 years now is paid off, and now you like, yay, I don't have any car payments. But now you got an outdated car. Now you want the updated car. It's cars that's talking to us now. It's you still got roll up windows. You don't got power windows. Now it's cars that's gonna be flying, and it's cars that do all these things. But now you got a 6-year-old car, which 6 years is completely outdated. But you put your life into this 6 years worth of payments. It makes no sense. It's idiotic. What you should have done is lease it, and now you could update every 2 years. You could have the newest, freshest stuff every 2 years, like when it comes to cars, or every year, or whatever you decide, whatever you could afford. But to make 6 years worth of payments, now you got a car that's breaking down on you. Now you got a car that's way outdated. Now you just happy to not have payments. It is crazy. Like I said, the thought process of it is idiotic. But with this capitalist society, they make us feel as if, owning something is the greatest. Which it is. It is. but your lifestyle may not necessarily be set up to own. You have a working lifestyle. A worker's you're a worker working on worker's income and in a worker's lifestyle. Why are you owning anything? Not that you shouldn't, but I'm saying if you have to work for 6 years straight to pay off this car, which now 6 years you got all these miles on it, and now it might start breaking down on you, and you finally just got off your payments, and like now you seeing people riding around with these new fresher cars. Now you want a new car. Now you're about to enter a whole nother 6 years. It's idiotic. It's idiotic to just put yourself in that position. Like I said, it's idiotic to own these homes. Let's get back to the homes. You got a good job and you own a home and you got residual and you have a mortgage, right? Let's talk about actual ownership. A lot of us live in communities that you live in a community where if you don't cut your grass, you'll be fined. If you don't pay the taxes on your home, the state can come take your home. If you don't pay the taxes on your land, the state can come take your land. If you want to put a back porch on your house, you have to go to the homeowners association and ask for their approval. You can't have blinds or you can't have a green door because it's not uniform with the community. You got to have white blinds in your front windows because you can't. The community is uniform. We're owning these homes. We're paying mortgages on these homes. Like I said, when we're agreeing to pay these 20-year mortgages when we don't know where we're going to be 20 years from now, which is idiotic. But then we're owning homes in these communities where we don't really own anything. It's based on a community. You have to ask people after you didn't work so hard, after you didn't paid off all your properties or you paid off all your bills, and now you have to ask somebody to put blue blinds in your window because you wanted a blue living room. You can't even do that. It's all crazy to me. It's all crazy. So what I want my people to do, I want you to own. But first, before you get to owning, have a savings account that's bringing in some interest. Have a stocks portfolios that brings in dividends. Own a company that brings in revenue to which everything is not based on you working. Because like I said, if it's based on you working, foreclosures and repossession is real. Stop putting so much into the ownership and have ownership of your income. You don't even have ownership of your income. Your income is based on somebody else giving you income. Like directly, I'm saying. Like you want indirect income. You want to own a McDonald's, you want to own a hair salon, you want to own a truck company, you want to own something that is not based on you. That this company gets money because people love it. People need to move product around the world, so I own my own truck and trailer. So now, no matter if I have to move it or if I get hurt and hire somebody else, my truck makes money. Have ownership of your income before you start having ownership of a house in a community which you can't even not cut your grass if you want to, because that's a fine. Have ownership of your income before you can decide to own an old car, which may be new now, but is old later. Like once you get done with your payments and now you break it down, now you trying to find how to fix your car because the motor is going bad or the transmission just went out, so now you got to pay $2,000 for a transmission. Where all that time you could have just bought a used car, or you could have leased a car, and by the time the 2-year lease is over, you on to the next. You ain't got to worry about the mechanics of the car. Cause you with the new time. You got a 2022 car in the next 2 years. And you don't even have to worry about all the breaking down. You just gotta worry about all your changes for 2 years. Leasing and renting is maybe more affordable for your lifestyle. Which your lifestyle of uncertainty, because you don't have ownership of how you make money, it is way more evening the odds. This is about the odds being in your favor. I understand to lease a car, you might have to come to them with $2,500, $3,000. I understand what the commercials say. But think about it. Save that up. Lease a car. You don't have to worry about mechanic bills and transmissions going out, because the time of you leasing it, you probably 100% covered. All you have to bring it back to the shop and have them fix it. Rent a home until you have enough saved up to where you can afford to own a home without you having to work and you having to worry about, oh, I got to go to work. I can't call out sick this week, or I can't take this vacation because I have to make enough money to pay off the mortgage. You have enough in savings. You have enough in your stock portfolio that covers that, without you ever even having to wake up to go to work. You could be on vacation somewhere and your stock portfolio and the dividends you make every quarter can pay off your house for 3 months at a time. You get what I'm saying? So this is my PSA to you and to y'all and to everyone who sees this. Stop saying, yo, you renting, it may be better to own a home on that time you renting. Renting is set up for my life. I don't know where I want to be in 2 years. Not like I said, you could own a home and you can sell it. I understand that. I understand, but there is a selling period that even in that, if you own a home and you decide, yo, I don't want this house no more, I want to move on to another house, you still are liable for them payments. So there's a window where you move out and you have to move somebody in, or you have to find somebody to take over that payment, whether it be a bank or whatever. But until they agree to buy it from you, or you find another person to buy it, or you find somebody else to come in and rent, or you decide to rent it out or whatever, you still own that. Like, you still are liable for that payment. But if you rent, you can move how you want to move, whether it be a year agreement, 2-year agreement, 5-year. If you rent, you can, you know what I'm saying? Is your lifestyle is, a lot of y'all lifestyle is just more capable, or should be, renting and leasing versus owning. And it'll cut down on a lot of y'all being kicked out of your homes, having your cars repossessed, having foreclosures of your home, having bad credit. Listen, this is me and my thoughts. I thank you for riding with me.